W. Hey.
So without further ado, let's jump straight in and see the sample that I was working with.
Love song, so sad and all. Why can't I turn on the radio?
Why can't I turn on?
Why can't I turn on the radio?
Why can't I turn on?
So I took this specific part of the sample and chopped it up, and I added it over some analog chords that I found from Splice. I also added a fall to the floor drum kick using Murder Beats sample pack, which you can find on Reddit, and I'll add in the description below.
Why can't I turn on?
So next up we have my favourite part of the track, which is the bass line, and the bass line was made in Contact, and it's the Rickenbacker, it's the Scarby Rickenbacker bass with the flame preset, and there's very minimal processing on it, just a tiny bit of compression. And the way that I made the bass line was basically just to follow the root note of the chords and then use my ear just to improvise little flourishes or bass fills. So let's listen to the chords and the bass line together. So for the drums we have this drum fill which drops into a basic kick and clap pattern, which I will show you now. I made sure to use the Ableton delay feature just to add a bit of bounce to the beat as well. So there's a -9 millisecond delay on the snare and a 20 millisecond delay on the clap, just to give it a tiny bit more swing. Next up we have the hi-hat loop, which is probably the most important part of the drums in my opinion, and it's basically a low-file drum loop, which we will listen to now. And all I did was chop this up, so I removed parts of it and rearranged it a tiny bit, and it sounds like this. And I also found this really cool percussion loop from the Glitch Mob, which has very Midget Jordan vibes. So let's listen to that and then both of them together. Okay, so next up I'm going to show you some instruments that I added to increase the complexity of the beat. So first off we have these keys. Let's just listen to these now. So I took that loop and just chopped it up. And next we have this flute sample, which is quite interesting. So on its own it sounds like this. And next we have a guitar section, just a guitar lick from Splice as well. And as you can see from the processing, there's hardly any effects added here, just a tiny bit of compression to all of them. I also found this really interesting sand dune synth, so let's listen to that. And I chopped it up a little bit and added it into the end of the first section. So let's listen to all of these parts together. So the last thing that I added to this track was this melody that I found also on Splice. There's a lot of Splice sampling going on in this track, I'm not going to lie. And I had to pitch it down by 1 semitone to fit the key of the song. And I also added a part of the sample right at the end, which Kenny picked up on.
Like he even made the shittiness of the vocal like cool.
And it kind of fits with the melody that I found from Splice, which was quite a coincidence. It wasn't really planned, but it works really well. So I was glad that he noticed that as well. So let's listen to that little touch right at the end. Okay, so that wraps up today's video. I hope you found it useful and informative. As far as the mixing goes, there was hardly any mixing involved really, because if you pick good samples that work well together, then it's mainly just a matter of making sure the volumes are at the right level. So I think they call that gain staging. So yeah, you saw with the processing, there was hardly any processing. Basically, just pick really good samples. I'll link the kick drum sample. And yeah, if you are entering this competition in the future, I wish you good luck. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon in the future.
Why can't I tonight? Why can't I tonight?